It is finally time to create the greatest hockey team the world has ever seen. The goal of the video is very simple: to win as many Stanley Cups as possible and to go down as the greatest NHL franchise of all time. Just to make things a little bit more challenging, I will be putting the Sydney Sweeneys in the most difficult division in all of hockey, which is the Atlantic. Don't even get me started. This team is so good, it's insane. We got McKinnon, McDavid, and Draisaitl on our top line, 2 97s and a 99. Mario Lemieux alongside Wayne Gretzky and Gordie Howe, Yager, Crosby, and Ovi, and then Macklin Celebrini alongside Mark Messier and Braden Point. With also having Connor Bedard and Matvei Mishkov as healthy scratches. And oh yeah, I threw Steven Stamkos on the team because these are my favorite players in the NHL currently and all time. Defensively, we might even be better. We got Quinn Hughes and Cale Makar as our top line D pair. Paul Coffey will play alongside Nick Lidstrom, literally the 5th best player of all time. And then we have Erik Karlsson and Evan Bouchard to round out our D-core. And between the pipes, it will be Bobby Lou, Roberto Luongo, and Martin Brodeur, 2 Canadian legends and all-time great goaltenders. The plan is to win as many Stanley Cups consecutively as possible without losing and go down as the greatest NHL franchise of all time. The Sydney Sweeneys are here and they are ready to dominate. 65-14-3, 133 points. It is safe to say the Sydney Sweeneys are as dominant as predicted. Best team in the NHL ahead of the Toronto Maple Leafs, who did have a great season. Dallas was up there. The Utah Mammoth with 47 victories, 103 points. Colorado was great. The LA Kings are probably going to lose to the Oilers yet again. Nathan McKinnon will lead our team in scoring with 107 points. Connor McDavid had 103 and 42 goals. Leon Draisaitl performed greatly, leading our team in goals. Wayne Gretzky had 85, Lemieux 80, Crosby. You guys got to realize a lot of these players are not going to put up 100 points because they're playing second and third line minutes. But Martin Brodeur, predominantly our starter, had a 907, 5 shutouts, and 45 wins. Marty, if you falter, buddy, I'm putting in Bobby Lou. I have a very, very short leash. The Oilers, Connor McDavid will have the most points at 115. Mikko Rantanen had a great season, a brand new career high, if I'm not mistaken. 112 points before 105 was his career high. Austin Matthews had 108, McKinnon 107, William Nylander was great. Matt Duchene, 27 goals, 73 apples for 100 points on the dot. The man is 35 years old. He should not be allowed to do this. Looking at the goal side, Leon will lead the way with 55. Mikko Rantanen had 53. Future Chicago Blackhawk and Kirill Kaprizov had 50. He rejected the most lucrative offer of all time. Cole Caulfield is finally a 40-goal scorer. McDavid had 42. Mario Lemieux was great, playing second-line minutes. And goaltending-wise, Marty's going to dominate in the wins category, had 45, and the most shutouts, Karel Vejmelka and Spencer Knight. You're telling me Spencer Knight had 6 shutouts on the current Blackhawks roster? Our first victims of the video will be none other than the Tampa Bay Lightning. Great team, no doubt, just not on the level of the Sydney Sweeneys. It has been a little bit tougher than expected going to a Game 6 against the Lightning, but hopefully we can close out the series, move on to round number 2 as we enter the third, all knotted up at 1 apiece. Thank you, Nathan McKinnon. Anthony Cirelli scored the lone goal, and now Jake Gensel will give the Lightning the lead, but Mario Lemieux will strike right away, and then Sid the Kid Crosby. The Lightning are on the ropes. All of a sudden, the Sydney Sweeneys are 5 minutes away now from their first ever playoff victory. The Sydney Sweeneys are currently 51 seconds away from their very first postseason victory against a very veteran squad in the Tampa Bay Lightning. No, how? Right off the rip. Connor Geeky, 4th line beauty, is going to walk into the slot and absolutely snipe it on Martin Brodeur. What did I just witness? In the slot, horrible defensive zone coverage. And the Lightning have tied the game up here in game number 6. How did this even happen? I couldn't even get my sentence out before they scored and tied the game up. All right, it is what it is. Cannot change the past. Let's just move forward and try to win this hockey game. Oh no, Jake Gensel in again. Kucherov had the game on his stick. Nathan McKinnon the other way. Cross ice to McDavid. 32 seconds to go here in regulation. In game number 6, we're on the road. Nathan McKinnon, dear God, you look quick, buddy. you look real fast out there. We get an offensive zone draw out of it. Nathan MacKinnon, Connor McDavid, and Leon Draisaitl. McDavid on the draw. He's going to snap it back. Makar walks the line. What a bomb. How did he not score that? McDavid's going to snap it back again. Cale Makar over to Nathan MacKinnon. What a save by Andrei Vasilevsky. His showstopper X-Factor came into play there. Nikita Kucherov gets by. Nice save by Marty. Oh my God, Marty, you look slow. You look old. You don't look like our starting goaltender. Less than 10 seconds remaining. Draisaitl in. Leon in the slot. And Leon Draisaitl will bury it. His third of the series will most definitely win the hockey game for the Sydney Sweeneys. A little bit of a broken play. All right, come on, Sydney Sweeneys. We get 6 seconds. Actually, 5.9. 5.9 seconds to kill, and we are off to round number 2. Gordie Howe up to Lemieux. Just get it on net. Get it on net. Yes. And the Sydney Sweeneys will be advancing and moving on to round number 2 after a 6-game series against the Tampa Bay Lightning. Cale Makar had a big night, 2 apples on the board. Jaromir Jagr had a point, and everybody else pretty much chipped in. It was a team effort. We are going to be moving on now to play the Florida Panthers in the second round. A much tougher matchup. The back-to-back defending Stanley Cup champions, and we currently have a 3-0 lead heading into game number 4. Can we sweep Florida? Move on to the conference finals. We get a 2-1 lead entering the third. Gordie Howe and Nathan MacKinnon will have our goals in this hockey game. I need Marty to cook. Man, Marty is not cooking. Sam Reinhart on the power play will tie the game up at 2. It's only game 4. I don't need to panic. AJ Greer is goddamn scoring important playoff goals against the greatest goaltender of all time as the Florida Panthers. They are going to force a game number 5. We had an opportunity and it passed us by. Missed opportunity in game number 4, but luckily here in game 5 on home ice, the Sydney Sweeneys, they are going to absolutely dominate the Florida Panthers 5-1. Conference finals, here we come. We have been playing very good hockey in the postseason, and now the Pittsburgh Penguins in the conference finals. Sid, you're telling me Crosby is carrying the Penguin squad? That overall is not a great hockey team whatsoever. They're on the ropes in game 4. Entering the third period, they do have the lead 3-2. We have Sidney Crosby against Sidney Crosby and Cale Makar scoring on Tristan Jarry. Sid MacKinnon, it is point night here in Pittsburgh. We are dominating the Penguins, and we are moving on to the Stanley Cup Finals. One of the greatest teams in NHL video game history, the Colorado Avalanche. Cale Makar, Nathan MacKinnon, Val Nichushkin, Devon Toews. They have a very good roster, but I believe we have a better roster. Game 5 on home ice sounds like the perfect opportunity to raise the Stanley Cup for the first time in this video. We got a 1-1 tie after 1. MacKinnon and Celebrini. Second period, yes! Nick Lidstrom and Mario Lemieux will chip in. It is a 4-1 lead for the Sydney Sweeneys, dominating Colorado. Shots are 34-17. This game is not even remotely close right now. We're dominating, and we are going to be going on and winning the Stanley Cup in year number 1, the beginning of the dynasty here in Sydney, as the Sweeneys will accomplish more than the entire franchise history of the Vancouver Canucks, winning a Stanley Cup, dominating Colorado in 5 games. I thought maybe they could potentially give us a challenge, but that was definitely not the case. Nathan MacKinnon is our Conn Smythe winner, 11 goals, 23 points in the postseason. Assistant captain, one of the best players in the world. I would rate him number 2 or 3, and he's going to grab his first ever Conn Smythe, while the Stanley Cup will be presented on home ice. This is just the beginning. Get used to seeing the Stanley Cup celebration in NHL 26, because I'm hopefully you guys are going to see it many times throughout the video. Wayne Gretzky, our current captain, will raise the Stanley Cup as the Sydney Sweeneys win it in year 1. 11-23 for MacKinnon in the postseason in only 20 games. Crosby had 21 points. Leon with 20. Mario Lemieux had 19. McDavid was kind of quiet, I'm not going to lie. I expected a little bit more out of this guy. And if we take a look at Martin Brodeur, 16-4-0 with 1 shutout and only a .919. It might be time for Bobby Lou. McDavid, the Ted Lindsay. Draisaitl, the Maurice Richard. Edmonton's McDavid, the Art Ross. Nathan MacKinnon, the Hart. Quinn Hughes is going to take home the Norris. MacKinnon, the Conn Smythe. Ivan Demidov, the Calder Trophy. Linus Ullmark, the Vezina. And the Selke will go to Sasha Barkov. No changes need to be made to this team. Yet again, the Sydney Sweeneys will finish at the top of our division, 61-win season. And we're also the best team in the NHL, no surprise there. The Edmonton Oilers were good, Tampa Bay, Dallas, Minnesota, and Toronto to round out the top 5. San Jose Sharks are still going through a rebuild. Montreal, honestly, is pretty surprising to see them this low. Leon Draisaitl will be our leading scorer. The man had 97 points on the season. Nathan MacKinnon had 40 goals and 90 points. McDavid, I'm not talking about the big McDavid either. He had 21 goals, 86 points, not really a great season. Gretzky was decent. I mean, the scoring is definitely going to be spread out a little bit. Martin Brodeur, 46 wins, 7 shutouts, and a 9.02. There is just too much talent on this roster for all of these guys to be point per game. They're playing second and third line minutes, but McDavid, he's on the top line, top power play line. I need you to play a little bit better, buddy. The Oilers' McDavid will lead the NHL in scoring with 113 points. Leon Draisaitl had 112. Our Draisaitl was up there. Tage Thompson popped in 52 goals. Speaking of goals, he's going to lead the way. Leon had 50, Kaprizov 50, Mikko Rantanen 49, Crosby with 46. Crosby and Ovi, 2 senior citizens that still produce like they're still in their prime. Obviously, Brodeur had the most wins at 46 and the most shutouts at 7. Hand that man the Vezina trophy. Oh my, the Buffalo Sabres in round number 1. Pack it up, Buffalo. Easy 4-game sweep. If we end up losing a single game to the Buffalo Sabres, I'm gonna rage. Oh my god, we're down 2-1. We tie the series up. How are we losing playoff hockey games to the Buffalo Sabres? We got our experience. We won the Stanley Cup last season, and there we go. 6-game series, just like against Tampa Bay, who we're gonna have to play in round number 2. If anything is similar to the first round, things are not going our way. The Buffalo Sabres do not have a great team in NHL 26. Luckily, nobody is on our level, and we're back in the conference finals to play the Detroit Red Wings. God damn, stop the bleeding. 10-1 in game number 1? That is straight belt to ass, man. We win game number 2, win game 3, put the Red Wings on the brink of elimination, entering game number 5. On home ice in Sydney, a very tough building to play in. Entering the third period, we do have a 4-2 lead. Gordie Howe, Connor McDavid, and Braden Point will all score goals in this hockey game to help us win. Outshooting the Red Wings 31-19. Clearly, we're the better hockey team. It is only a matter of time until the Sydney Sweeneys will play in the Stanley Cup Finals yet again. And I'll be honest, this playoff run, we were much more dominant than last season. Well, rematch city it is against the Colorado Avalanche in the Stanley Cup Finals. They got absolutely belted last season, so you know they're hungry to get their revenge. But the Sydney Sweeneys, they are just too damn good. Same exact situation of last season, up 3-1 on home ice in Game 5. With the Stanley Cup in the building, what can the Sydney Sweeneys do? We're up 3-1 entering the third. Goals from Connor McDavid, Leon Draisaitl, and Cale Makar. Josh Manson somehow is going to make it a hockey game. And then Nathan MacKinnon will tie the game up, scoring on Martin Brodeur. 7 minutes to play here in the third period. Do we have any late game heroics, or are we destined? No! How did Colorado pull that out of their ass? Martin H's and then an empty netter by Cale Makar. They're gonna force a game 6 back on home ice. Listen, I'll be honest, I've seen crazier things happen. I've seen better teams lose to inferior competitions. I mean, the Red Wings beat one of my greatest rosters of all time in NHL 25. So anything can happen in the EA Sim Engine as Victor Olofsson will score on Martin Brodeur, tie the game up. We're getting outshot right now. Colorado is actually playing us very, very tight. And again, late game heroics by either side. Power play for the Avalanche. They don't get anything on it. Overtime it is. With the Stanley Cup in the building, the Colorado Avalanche trying to force a game number 7 after being down 3-1 in the series. We blew game number 5 down the stretch in the third period, and I want this to be different. We do have to go to overtime, unfortunately. That's the bad part. Literally anything can happen. Watching the computer AI go back and forth. McDavid, he has that puck. He's going to break it out. Oh my God. Pizza up the middle. McKinnon. No! Connor McDavid with a costly turnover, and Nathan MacKinnon will bury it, sending the Colorado Avalanche to a do-or-die, winner-take-all Game 7. EA did make the claim that the computer AI would play like the real-life counterparts. I guess Connor McDavid now is a turnover machine. This can go very, very badly. First period, we are leading 2-1. Mark Messier and Wayne Gretzky. Second period, still a 1-goal advantage. A very close game. Power play goal, yes. Wayne Gretzky on the power play on Mackenzie Blackwood, extending our lead to 2. It is a 3-1 hockey game. Shots are 32-28 for the Sydney Sweeneys halfway through the third. Can Martin Brodeur shut the door, and can we hold on and win the Stanley Cup? 49 seconds to spare here in the third period. We do got a multi-goal advantage. I'm feeling good. I'm feeling confident. I'm feeling ready to raise our second Stanley Cup of the video. Oh no, in the slot. Olofsson, do not let him shoot that. Nice. Nick Lidstrom, the second greatest defenseman of all time, with a massive defensive play. Gretzky gets laid out at the blue line. Here come the Avalanche. Uh-oh. Gabriel Landeskog into the zone. Landy centering. Out in front. Rebound. Lidstrom got ran into. Don't. Martin Brodeur, please, brother. Do not play that puck if you don't have to. Paul Coffey up the middle to Wayne Gretzky. Gretzky through the neutral zone. With an empty net, he elects to put it between his legs instead. The Great One right now is currently playing like the Great One. Less than 10 seconds to go in the third period. 5, 4, Lemieux can't put home the empty netter, but it does not matter, as the Sydney Sweeneys will go back-to-back, beating the Colorado Avalanche for the second consecutive season, winning our second cup of the video. We had to go to a Game 7. It was much closer than last season, but thankfully we got it done on home ice in Game 7. Came up clutch, had the multi-goal advantage. Martin Brodeur played amazing here in the third period. Connor McDavid's going to win his second Conn Smythe trophy of his career. 13 goals, 27 points. He had an absolute horrific mistake in Game 6, costing us that game, but luckily it did not matter in the end. On home ice, the Sydney Sweeneys get their second Stanley Cup of the simulation. We won both of them on home ice, and Connor McDavid, you are a back-to-back Stanley Cup champion. McDavid led the way with 13 goals and 27 points. Conn Smythe worthy. Draisaitl had 24, McKinnon 22, Gordie Howe 19. He chipped in. And then Martin Brodeur held the fort down. 16-5-1 record. Didn't have a single shutout, but he did have a .911 save percentage. Connor McDavid with the Ted Lindsay, Art Ross, and Hart Trophy. Tage Thompson, the Maurice Richard. Evan Bouchard's going to grab a Norris. Conn Smythe to McDavid. We got Philip Gustafson being named the Vezina. And the Frank J. Selke to the Edmonton Oilers. Connor McDavid. We had a little bit of a rocky postseason in the Stanley Cup Finals. Going to a Game 7 do or die against Colorado is something we don't always want to do. 10-2 start to the regular season the very next year, and the road to the three-peat begins now. Third consecutive season of being the President's Trophy winning team. We went 66-13-3, 135 points, a great regular season, but it's all about the playoffs. It is all about winning Stanley Cups. I am genuinely curious if we're ever going to have a guy that has like 110, 120 points, because right now the offense is really balanced out. McDavid led the way with 91 and 35 goals. Gretzky had 89, McKinnon 88, Draisaitl 86. Like, everybody is chipping in, doing their job, playing their role essentially, and then we have two of the most consistent goaltenders of all time backstopping us between the pipes. Talk about a dream scenario. William Nylander will lead the NHL in scoring, 116 points. The most goals will go to Kyle Connor. He had 52. Kaprizov was solid. Matthews had 49. Ovi still kicking it. Matvei Mishkov in year 2 is a 46-goal, 80-point player. Listen, I'm not going to lie to y'all. Matvei Mishkov has a very bright future. You guys already know that, but I fully believe this guy's going to be a legit superstar. 40, 50-goal man, over 100 points in his prime, rivaling potentially Connor Bedard. Martin Brodeur had 48 wins in the season, and for the most shutouts, it would go to Darcy Kemper, who had 8. The LA Kings are a trap-it-up team, so that does make sense. We get a new and exciting fresh matchup in the first round in the form of the Ottawa Senators. Obviously, that team is definitely not on our level. We're just probably going to dominate the postseason, make it to the Cup Finals yet again. We take care of the Senators in 5 games. It was a business trip as we faced the Toronto Maple Leafs in round 2. They got a lot of offensive firepower, but defensively, we absolutely tore them up in a 4-game series. The New York Rangers in the Eastern Conference Finals. Dog, this team is an absolute wagon. 12-1 to start the postseason. And it will be the Dallas Stars in the Stanley Cup Finals, a strong team in the Western Conference, but the Sydney Sweeneys right now are on an absolute tear, and they want ring number 3. Okay, hold the phone. A 4-3 and 4-2 loss in the first 2 games? We might be cooked, man. Game 3 becomes a must-win. We dominate them 8-1. Can we tie the series up? Yes, we do. And now becomes a best of 3, a best of 1. Well, technically a best of 2, but you know what I mean. We are now 1 game away from three-peating to start the video. Entering the 3rd period, we're all knotted up at 2. The Dallas Stars are giving us a very tough run for our money as Mikko Rantanen on the power play will capitalize. Wyatt Johnston extends the lead for the Dallas Stars. The Sydney Sweeneys might be in trouble. Hold up. Mario Lemieux gets us back to within 1. Can Lemieux, can Gretzky, McDavid, Crosby, somebody? Can anybody save us from going to a dreadful Game 7 for the 2nd consecutive season? One of these times in Game 7, we're going to end up losing. We'll get a shit sim engine. Oh no, rebound. Nice save there by Marty. I'm not gonna lie, that was close. We cannot just rely on Game 7s on home ice. One of those we're gonna end up losing. 1 minute remaining here in the 3rd. The Dallas Stars have a 1-goal advantage. It is definitely not out of reach yet. We have the opportunity to come back in this game and force overtime. McKinnon, where are you going? Over to Makar. All the way up to Connor McDavid. Drive wide, McDavid. All right, that's probably the worst dump and chase of all time. Oh my God, Leon Draisaitl. How did he not bury that on the doorstep? Couldn't put it home. Martin Brodeur kind of fluttering the puck right now. McDavid moves up to Leon. Draisaitl cross ice to McKinnon. Into the zone. Nathan McKinnon losing the puck to Matt Duchene. 20 seconds to spare in the 3rd. Once I get the opportunity, I am pulling my netminder. Please, Cale Makar, break it out. Here we go. Marty, go to the bench. Gordie Howe in the middle. Shot right off the shin pads. Hughes losing it. Howe losing it. 7 seconds remain here in the 3rd period. The Dallas Stars are going to send this series to 7, and all of a sudden the comeback becomes real. We were down 0-2 in the series, won 3 in a row, and now we got to go on home ice yet again. Game 7, do or die for all the marbles. Palms are sweaty, knees weak, arms are heavy. Mom spaghetti all over my sweater already. Entering the 3rd period, we are trailing 2-1. Tyler Seguin has a 2-goal game in Game 7 of the Stanley Cup Finals. I don't believe it. Oh, Dallas in the power play, please. No, Mikko Rantanen. But Gordie Howe makes it a game. 15 minutes to go. And then Nick Lidstrom shorthanded. Man, the Dallas Stars are in shambles right now. Power play, Leon Draisaitl back-to-back shorthanded markers. Macklin Celebrity. What on earth is happening right now? A 3rd period for the ages and our 3rd consecutive Stanley Cup. I don't believe it. We were down, we were out, and then all of a sudden the goal scoring absolutely exploded. Shorthanded goals left, right, and center. The Dallas Stars straight up choked away the victory and choked away the Stanley Cup in typical Dallas Stars fashion. As the Sydney Sweeneys will three-peat in the modern NHL, Quinn Hughes will win the Conn Smythe. Only 1 goal, but the man had 24 points in the postseason. As I see EA Sports gave that man a generic hairstyle that is already in the game. I don't even fully believe that's Quinn Hughes' hair color. I don't know what we're doing here, EA. 3rd year in a row winning the Stanley Cup on home ice. It is so insanely sweet. It never gets old. Watching the Sydney Sweeneys do the impossible. 3rd in a row, officially a dynasty, but the run is not stopping here. How many consecutive Stanley Cups can we win? We are at 3 right now. I'm predicting at least 10. Talk about a high-octane offense. We had 6 guys over 20-plus points. Nathan McKinnon had the most at 26. Somehow Quinn Hughes actually won the Norris. Leon Draisaitl had 23. McDavid had 20. A lot of offense on this roster. And then, of course, we're backed by the greatest goaltender of all time. .918 save percentage, 2 shutouts, and 16 wins. Marty! William Nylander will win the Ted Lindsay, Art Ross, and Hart Trophy. Kyle Connor, the Maurice Richard, Hughes, the Norris, and the Conn Smythe. Andrei Vasilevsky, the Vezina, and Connor McDavid, the Selke. The road to ring number 4 begins now. If you have made it this far in the video, make sure to drop a like and subscribe to the channel. The road to 50K has already begun. The best record in the entire NHL and the best record of all time, 142 points. Nobody was even remotely close. Essentially, everybody else in the NHL right now is vying for 2nd place because the Sydney Sweeneys, they are first. Connor McDavid has finally awoken. 45 goals, 120 29 points. He led the way offensively. Wayne Gretzky had 90. Hughes 86. McKinnon chipped in. Draisaitl was over 8 points per game. Still the greatest offense of all time, backed by the greatest goaltender that the NHL has ever seen. 46 wins, 4 shutouts. Save percentage was a little bit low at a 909. We are definitely not going to excuse that. But Connor McDavid led the way, winning his first Art Ross of the video. Alexander Ovechkin had 105. Dylan Strome, a brand new career high. 29 goals, 104 points. Even better than his prior season that he had last year with 29 goals and 82. I'm not going to lie, Dylan Strome was one of those guys. I know he struggled early on in his career, but I always fully expected him to figure it out. He was way too skillful not to. At 40 years of age, Alexander Ovechkin had the most goals at 56. Kyle Connor had 55, Kaprizov 53, and TNT Thompson popping bottles and scoring goals. The Maple Leafs got dusted last season in 4 games. I don't think anything is really going to change considering the fact the two teams have remained the same. A quick gentleman's sweep against the Toronto Maple Leafs. Just like I expected, move on to play the Tampa Bay Lightning. I'm finding it really difficult right now to envision another team beating us in a best-of-7 series. The Lightning right now, though, have become the closest team to do so. We are trailing 3-2. My words have gotten the best of me here. First period, 3-1 lead. Second period, 10-1. Oh my God, talk about an onslaught. Game 7 it is. We have been undefeated thus far. I believe 3-0 in Game 7s throughout this video, facing the Tampa Bay Lightning. No score in the first period. Second period, still no score. The panic is starting to set in. Third period with not a single goal scored is low-key kind of crazy. Shots are even. The score is even. Uh-oh. A power play for the Lightning. They don't get anything on it. No! Victor Hedman will score, but Sidney Crosby ties the game up, and then Braden Point will give us the lead. Unfortunately, Jake Guentzel is going to tie the game up at 2. There's no way our Dynasty run ends this way in the second round. Game 7 on home ice in Sydney. The Lightning up against the Sweeneys. Jake Guentzel. He tied the game up, please. No. Just don't let them shoot. Every single shot is absolutely terrifying. I do not want to see our Dynasty end right now. I know we've won 3 in a row. A three-peat is what it is. I wanted to keep that consecutive Stanley Cup Finals and Stanley Cup champion streak alive. Quinn Hughes entering the zone. Hughes deking. Rebound. McDavid. Nobody wants it. Draisaitl. Come on, buddy. That has to be your puck. Victor Hedman the other way. Entering the zone is Hedman. Going around. Centering it out in front. Braden Point. Nice block there by who was that? Oh no. Kucherov off the shin pads. Braden Point is going to enter the zone for the Lightning. 1-on-2 the other way. Leon Draisaitl in the middle. Rebound. Horrible computer AI, man. I don't know what I got to do for the sliders to make them play a little bit better, as Ryan McDonough is going to dump that puck in. Cale Makar getting board played. Over to Lemieux. Here we go. Break it out, boys. Evan Bouchard all the way up to Sid. 3-on-2. Crosby entering the zone. Sid behind the net to Lemieux. Mario and Gretzky's office trying to feed Gretzky in the slot. Crosby back to the blue line. Horrible turnover, but we get it back. Back to the blue line. Over Lemieux. Can't get a shot on net. Bouchard. D to D. D to D did not work out. It missed the net entirely. Crosby the other way. Toe drag. Sid. Back to Evan Bouchard. Rebound. No, the game was there on Wayne Gretzky's stick. Carlson to Crosby. Back to Carlson. And Andrei Vasilevsky will make that save. My heart cannot take it, man. Lemieux, he's going to win that faceoff. What are you doing, Paul Coffey? Why are you skating away from the puck? Wayne Gretzky entering the zone. Gets bodied there by the defenseman. Gordie Howe, though, in on that forecheck. Back to Lidstrom. Wiring one. Rebound. Howe. Nice save by Vasilevsky. The Lightning are going to get it out. Here comes Brandon Hagel. The 90-point man, Hagel, into the zone. Oh my God. Anthony Cirelli damn near sniped that out in front. Nice, Mark Messier. Good defensive play. Great positioning. Right place, right time. Paul Coffey all the way up to Braden Point. 2-on-1 maybe. Braden Point, backhander on net. Don't really know what he was doing there. We got to throw our third line out on the ice. Top 6 is tired right now. Ilberg into the zone. Centering it. Mark Messier on the counterattack. Here we go. Messier coming into the zone. Mark across ice to Lemieux. Vassie's going to make the save. Why is Mario Lemieux still out there? I feel like that man probably should have gone for a change already. Oh no. Cirelli. He's mohawking. Back to the blue line. Shitty little backhander. The young stud, Macklin Celebrini, with the opportunity to maybe score the game-winning goal. Oh my, Jaromir, no way! Mac gets robbed like that. An amazing save in overtime by Andrei Vasilevskiy. The unlikely duo of Jaromir Jagr and Macklin Celebrini. Jagr driving the net, slides it over. Mac with the game on his stick, and he couldn't bury it. Vasilevskiy got over there in the nick of time. Actually, he didn't even make a save. It hit the goal post and out. Macklin Celebrini, you have to bury that, buddy. That is unexplainable. I don't know how he even did that. Ryan McDonagh turns it over. Mac, can you do it, Celebrini? Waiting. Why? Why, Mac? You literally could have took a shot there. Girgensons the other way for the Lightning. Going wide on Leon Draisaitl. Sifting in. Girgensons. Oh my god. If he's the guy that scores the game-winning goal, I'm going to lose my mind. Horrible breakout. Jake Gensel wiring it right off the shin pads. Jagr on the wall. Over to Cale Makar. All the way up to Mac. Cross ice to Leon. Takes a shot on Draisaitl. Quick release as well. We got full pressure in the offensive zone, but nobody is pressuring the Tampa Bay Lightning as they're going to break it in. A bad line change. Makar, here we go. Counterattack. Less than 10 seconds to go. Hughes coming in. Why, Quinn Hughes? Please explain to me why you made that move. He literally could have taken a shot, could have gone in all the way on a breakaway, and decided to sauce it over the stick of Connor McDavid. 2.3 seconds remain here in the third period. McDavid back to Makar off the crossbar, and we are headed to double OT. I did not expect we will be in double overtime, but the Lightning and the Sidney Sweeneys are going back and forth, trading opportunities. Leon Draisaitl, please. No, you got banged. Here we go. Backdoor feed. McKinnon. Can't bury it. Computer AI again. Offensively inept. Back to the blue line. Hughes. Backhander on goal. Easy save by Vasilevskiy. Connor McDavid on the draw. He's not going to win that faceoff. Do we get possession of it? We do. McDavid back to the blue line. Shot. Blocked in the middle. McKinnon, and Vasilevskiy is forced to flash the leather yet again. Mac over Leon, couldn't bury it. Costly turnovers by the Tampa Bay Lightning. Draisaitl to McDavid, who just wires a slap shot on net. The NHL edge data are lying. They are absolutely lying right now. Draisaitl in the middle. Hughes can't bury it. A historic performance right now by Vasilevskiy, keeping his team in the game. Leon Draisaitl with no energy. We got to make a change. Crosby coming out there on the ice. Sid pushing it forward to Mark Messier. Messier to Crosby, trying to go short side in the Rockstar zone. Here come the Lightning the other way. Borkstrand in the zone, stopping up. Turns it over. Mark Messier, get it out. There we go. Up to Makar. Makar, blow by wide. Nice poke check there by McDonagh. Cale Makar trying to put it down low. Can't get it to go. I'm just seeing the same play over and over by both of the computer AI right now. Not a lot of creativity. It looks very, very similar to NHL 25. Quinn Hughes over to Mario. Lemieux is into the zone. Takes a shot. Vasi with the save. No pressure at all, despite the fact that we have full pressure. There it is. No way Braden Point's going to get denied like that. Andrei Vasilevskiy, you are sick. An absolute sicko, keeping the Lightning in this hockey game. We got a 3-on-2 in the middle. Lemieux to win the game. He can't do it. A block shot out in front, and Mario Lemieux, the second greatest hockey player of all time, can't do it. We got to get a change again. First line, get back out there. Leon Draisaitl gets bodied in the neutral zone. 6 minutes here in overtime. Dump and chase by the Tampa Bay Lightning. Oh no, what is Marty doing? Marty, oh my god! What was that man doing? Can we please just win the game already? My heart cannot take it. The overtime has lasted way too long, and the Lightning are going to win the draw. Moser over to Ilberg. Shot blocked by Nathan McKinnon. Ooh, that one went wide. McKinnon, or that's Draisaitl. Leon has no energy whatsoever. McKinnon does, though. In the middle, McDaddy over McDavid, cannot snipe it. We are oh so close to gaining full pressure in the offensive zone. Nathan McKinnon, Leon Draisaitl, and Connor McDavid. McDavid, you need to win the draw. He loses it. Nathan McKinnon, I guess he's blind. Helen Keller, maybe? Who knows? Somebody please bury it. I don't care who. Draisaitl, McKinnon, Cale Makar, Macklin Celebrini. I really don't care. Girgensons is into the zone. Girgensons going wide, centering it out in front to Yanni Gourde. I'm not going to lie. Actually, I'm not going to jinx myself. Yanni Gourde. Ilberg, another block shot. We have been blocking so many pucks. Like a fat kid chasing a cake. Draisaitl over McKinnon. In. Rebound. And Andrei Vasilevskiy again. 42 seconds to go. Back to the point. Paul Coffey walking the line. Nice save by Vasilevskiy. Get in there, Gretzky. We need a forecheck. We have no forecheck whatsoever. They're just easily breaking it out of their own zone repeatedly. Uh-oh. Tampa Bay entering it. They get bodied. Paul Coffey on the counterattack. Gretzky over to Gordie Howe. Cross ice to Lemieux. Cannot contain it. Lemieux trying to center that puck to Gordie Howe. He can't get it. Oh my God. If that was the goal that went in, it would be the most EA moment of all time. Calling a timeout was necessary. Crosby wins the draw. Ovi, no way the greatest goal scorer of all time is going to get denied like that. In the slot. Game on his stick against Andrei Vasilevsky. We got less than 10 seconds to go. Kucherov centering it. 5 seconds. I don't think we're going to have enough time. Crosby, cross ice all the way to Ovi. Shot. Did anybody say triple overtime? I need somebody to win this hockey game, please. For the love of God. We have 54 shots on goal and only 2 goals. Vasilevsky, historic performance. What can I say? McKinnon into the zone. Back, Draisaitl losing it at the blue line. A horrible turnover, I'm not going to lie. Jake Gensel the other way. Entering the zone, Gensel centering it. Chernak, save, rebound. Gensel waits. I'm not going to lie, Jacob Bake. You probably should have shot that puck, buddy. Martin Brodeur was out of position, but he waited too long. Kucherov in. Kuch. Save by Marty. The Sydney Sweeneys are an absolute disaster. Eric Chernak bombs one away, and it's out of play. This Game 7 do or die is taking literal years off my life right now as we go back and forth watching the computer AI. Unfortunately, I can't hop out. I have to see it through. I have to see the game winner, whoever it may be. Nathan McKinnon in the zone. McDavid, backdoor. Yes, there it is. Leon Draisaitl buries it, and he will win the hockey game for the Sydney Sweeneys in Game 7 triple overtime. Holy hell, that was so insanely close. All right, let's all promise not to do that ever again. 3 overtimes of seeing the computer AI going back and forth was absolute hell, but it was all worth it. In the end, when we got the victory, and now in the conference finals up against the New Jersey Devils, trying to finish them off in 6 games, we get the job done in a blowout 7-0 victory. The Sydney Sweeneys will now take on the Edmonton Oilers in the Stanley Cup finals. This is going to be very, very tough. During game number 6, we have the lead in the series 3-2. With the Stanley Cup in the building, the Edmonton Oilers, we know they're going to play their hardest. They have a 3-1 lead entering the 3rd period thanks to Jake Wallman on Martin Brodeur. It is now 4-1, Connor McDavid against Connor McDavid, and we have to go to a Game 7 yet again. Where have I seen this before? I thought we just all promised not to do this again. Game 7, home ice, winner take all for the Stanley Cup. Thanks to Crosby and McDavid, we have the lead in the 3rd period. 3-1 over the Edmonton Oilers as Zach Hyman will score on the power play, make it a hockey game, but Cale Makar regaining our 2-goal advantage. Draisaitl, they're not going to go down without a fight. We got duplicates on both sides, and they are trading offense right now. Zach Hyman just scored and now tied the game up at 4. I'm not going to lie, it feels cursed. It feels like EA Sports really wants me to commentate the computer AI back and forth. Because this is Game 7 of the Cup Finals, I have to hop in. But this is going to be my final game hopping in, unless we're in the Cup Finals again in same scenario. Outside of that, I don't think we need to be here that long, but Leon Draisaitl, he wants to score a goal. He wants to win the Stanley Cup. The Sydney Sweeneys trying to win their 4th consecutive cup in a row. After going to a Game 7 do or die triple overtime against the Lightning, it was oh so close to all ending. Quinn Hughes, yes! Quinn Hughes will bury it. And the Sydney Sweeneys have won 4 straight Stanley Cups in a row. 2 Game 7s en route to the Stanley Cup Finals. A Game 7 in the Cup Finals. We were oh so close to losing, but we come up clutch yet again. An absolute snipe top shelf by Quinn Hughes. Way far out. That man was insanely deep when he shot that puck. And Connor McDavid, again, 15 goals, 40 points in the postseason. One of the greatest playoff performers of all time. He's going to grab his 3rd Conn Smythe of his NHL career. And yet again, what are the odds that we raise the Stanley Cup on home ice? 4 out of all 4 times. Home ice, honestly, just hits different. Connor McDavid is going to have himself a season. Ted Lindsay, Art Ross, Hart Trophy. He won the Conn Smythe as well. Martin Brodeur, the Vezina, and the Selke also to Connor McDavid. The GOAT! All right, safe to say if we're not in the Stanley Cup Finals, the computer AI, they've done their job for this video. We got a lot of footage. Probably a lot more than I would have liked. but I'm confident that the Sydney Sweeneys now can just rally off 5 or 6 more in a row. I don't even need to hop in for us to be that good of a hockey team. We are currently 16-3-1 to start the season. 65-10-7, 137 points. Yet again, the best team in the NHL, primed and poised to win their 5th Stanley Cup of the video. I'm not gonna lie, I let the game simulate while I went upstairs and took a fat dump. But I'm back, I'm ready to go, I'm locked in, and Leon Draisaitl is gonna lead the way. 94 points on the season. Connor McDavid had 85, Sid 85. McDavid could not replicate what he did last season, but that's all good, man. We have been the best team in the NHL year after year, going for ring number 5 in a row. McDavid is gonna have the most points at 106 and the most goals to Nazem Kadri with 48. Honestly, respect. We got the Dead Wings in round number 1. Let's see what we can do. Oh man, it's not even remotely fair. Now the Panthers are probably going to be a much tougher matchup. They're currently 7-0 to start the postseason. Uh-oh. Trouble in paradise for the Sydney Sweeneys. We are currently down 3-0 to Florida. Do we somehow have a miraculous comeback in us? Do they have that dog in them? First period, 1-0 lead. Second period, 5-1. We're not getting swept. We have forced a game 5. Take it game by game. That is 1 step out of 4. At this point, you have to take it game by game. First period, we're down 2-1. Brad Marchand and Gustav Forsling. Second period, uh-oh. The playoff killer, Brad Marchand, has extended the Panthers' lead to 2. They're getting outshot 29-20, but they got a 2-goal lead here in the third period. It looks like our dynastic run might be coming to an end. To the Florida Panthers of all teams, are we serious? I'm not gonna lie, a 4-1 lead entering the third period, it breaks my heart. This team was so close to getting ring number 5 in a row, continuing our dynasty, continuing the video, but the Florida Panthers shut all of that down. I don't even know how they managed to go up 3-0 to start the series. I really don't, but clearly they were the better hockey team between the two. We had everything, but we were definitely fading the past couple seasons, going to consecutive Game 7s, damn near losing in those Game 7 games. And now 29 seconds to go, 3-goal deficit. It's not looking great. I think Mario Lemieux just absolutely broke the ankles of Gustav Forsling. 42 shots on goal and only 1 of them went in. 42 shots on net and only 1 goal is absolutely crazy work, but it doesn't matter because at the end of the day, the Florida Panthers are going to dominate and finally dethrone the Sydney Sweeneys in 5 games in the second round as the dynasty has come to a halt. Leon Draisaitl was our best forward in the postseason. In 9 games, the man had 6 goals and 14 points. McDavid had 12. Nathan MacKinnon, 11. Quinn Hughes, 9. Gretzky. They call you the great one, and you had 2 goals and 5 points in only 9 games. And then Martin Brodeur was good. 919 save percentage. Can't really blame it on him. As we have to sit here and watch the Nashville Predators, out of all teams, beat the Florida Panthers in Game 7 of the Cup Finals. Make it make sense. Connor McDavid will take home the Ted Lindsay, Nazem Kadri, the Maurice Richard, McDavid the Hart, and Art Ross. We got Quinn Hughes taking home the Norris, Philip Forsberg, the Conn Smythe, Vezina to Connor Hellebuck, and the Frank J. Selke to Connor McDavid. Unfortunately, that is the end of our dynasty and the end of the video. The Sydney Sweeneys only managed to grab 4 consecutive Stanley Cups. It was almost number 5, but the Florida Panthers put a massive halt to that. I honestly thought we'd win a lot more. I know I took my time with things, but at the end of the day, we were still the greatest team of all time. If you enjoyed the video, make sure to drop a like and subscribe to the channel. I appreciate you all watching, and until next time, don't be silly. Wrap your willy.